Phoenix's lineup by a little bit. And Pugna is pretty good against illusion-based heroes. He's got clear...
Support Pugna?
Yeah, looks like it should be, right? Drow, Spiritbreaker, and Invoker as the cores, and Pugna's going to end up being a support. I think that gives even more incentive for Invasion to try and look towards this aggressive tri-lane here, but they pick up the Enchantress, and that means someone is getting a bump up to a core role. But who is it? Who is it?
It's not Lord Boons, it's not Extinct. Shaitan has picked the Enchantress. Is he going off-lane Enchantress? Is this Asher's way?
Oh my word. I mean, it's...
I'm not joking. He's going up top. He's got 2 circlets. He's got no mana regen, no smoke, no boots. He's got Observer Ward and HP regen.
I mean, you can't right-click him. I mean, Enchantress is unright-clickable.
Let me just take my glasses off, rub my eyes, and...
Just double-check that you know exactly where you are, Durka. Get your bearings back. That's okay. But welcome back, guys, to Game 2 of Invasion versus MVP here for the SEA Qualifiers. We're in the group stages for TI5, TI5 qualies, and got Overrun Invasion, Extinct, and Slicks lining up for some damage on March to begin with. Unfortunately, it's Spiritbreaker, so we're not going to be able to do a heck of a lot of damage to him here, but continuing the introductions, we've got Lord Boons, or Boons, over on the Dazzle, Chibi, or WTF is going to be over on the Phantom Lancer, and to finish off the lineup, we have Shaitan on Enchantress. Meanwhile, for MVP, Nuts is going to be on the Witch Doctor, QO on his Invoker. It's actually going to be KP on the Drow Ranger, Febby on the Pugna, and finally March handling the Spiritbreaker over in the offlane battle for the 0-minute runes coming up. Shaitan already with the first point up in the Untouchable, trading some hits, but there's 4 MVP heroes in the neighborhood, and he's going to be forced to back up somewhat here. Febby comes running up to the high ground with a Sentry Ward. I don't know what exactly his plan is, as he's just chilling behind... He's just actually chilling over by the Ancients right now. Is he going to try and snipe this courier right at level 1? Come on, Febby. This isn't fair. 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks. Brings it down easily. And that was the extra set of tangos coming out for this mid lane to help out the Phantom Lancer. It looks like that is going to be our answer in terms of how these lanes are going to be set. Phantom Lancer is actually heading mid, and the tri-lane is bottom right now.
Oh,
Shaitan's way. But...
Enchantress off lane with Untouchable. Gonna be leveled
they're diving
up at level
bottom.
1.
Okay, big damage onto March, but
Extinct.
he's gonna live.
Aggro switched over to the Lord Boons. I still have a smile on my face, and I'm probably going to be giggling for the rest of the game because Shaitan is trading hits with a Drow Ranger.
I don't know. Next time I would Skype with this guy, I'm going to get him to yell Shaitan's way, and I'll get the little sound bite. we can make a montage of this game, however it goes. But
I hope he's doing it on his TeamSpeak or whatever it is.
Shaitan's way.
Shaitan's way.
Anyway. Okay, so March is getting dove on bottom lane here. Invasion are somewhat desperate looking to get this kill at level 1.
They're all over him, but he's tanky as all hell.
Yeah, and they're just pushing the creep wave up underneath the tower. The Spiritbreaker is about to be level 3, and none of the Invasion heroes have managed to break level 2 just yet. So that's pretty scary. 2-minute runes coming up soon. Phantom Lancer without that extra pack of tangos is suffering somewhat on the mid lane as Kyo is picking up good farm. Normally the problem for Invoker is that his laning matchups aren't all that impressive, but I guess Phantom Lancer, I think he's doing alright. Boons comes running in mid lane with just auto attacks and drives QO back a little bit here. And things are taking a left-hand turn into Clown Town very quickly this game.
Oh, hasted March. He's got 1 in bash and 1 in charge, but can they actually go on the PL here? They've got Cold Snap and EMP, they'll charge forward, and WTF, the stun comes out, there's no doppelganger just yet. He can't throw it out now, healed up, and he's not panicking, that's great. WTF not expending mana, knowing that he's okay with Dazzle sitting just behind him.
Nuts and Febby.
No, just stop looking up at them every time I hear the Enchantress attack animation. Oh, it gets me.
Nuts, you need both of you here. Oh, Shaitan now in some trouble, but he's got the sprites, and he's going to end up living. He's keeping the supports busy, I'll give him that much. Nope, actually all of the supports in this game are still only barely about to reach level 2. Febby and Nuts about to grab it right now. In terms of overall farm, things are looking good somewhat across the board. Lesh getting good farm bottom, KP getting good farm top. We've got Invoker doing decently mid lane, and then there's a bit of a gap as the Phantom Lancer and the rest of the heroes are there. But very active play from the supports here on both on the safe lanes, keeping the offlaners zoned out, but still finding little bits and pieces here and there. Shaitan not opting to get a single point in the enchant just because there's actually a charge coming in mid lane. It's looking for Boons, who is just once again auto-attacking on mid. He's going to turn around and throw a few more of those auto-attacks towards QO as Phantom Lancer comes up towards the high ground, but with no mana left, won't actually be able to finish the Invoker. And there's just going to be a first blood drawn here by the Spirit Breaker on the mid lane. Another charge coming out. They saw the Doppelganger used. Do they have anything left in reserve from QO? Nope. So he's just going to wish March the best of luck in driving back this Phantom Lancer as March takes up residence on the Radiant Cliff here.
The 3 points in Quas just allowing QO to survive with 50 HP, regen back up incredibly quickly. 10 HP per second. What is the item build for Slasher offlane Enchantress?
Well, the Slasher build is Necrobook, but I don't know if that's the build this game.
Because the 2 circlets would go Magic Wand with one of them, and then a Null with the other? Or a Bracer into drums, maybe?
Look, I'm going to level with you here. I didn't watch the video.
Neither did I. I know of it.
Yeah.
I know of the offlane Enchantress with Max Untouchable. I never actually, analyzed or looked into the build itself. Another charge towards mid. It's WTF getting giant for a little bit, but he's got Doppelganger, dodges out the stun. Great timing from him. He's not going to get hit.
He even goes back in for that one last slap on the Spirit Breaker, but I mean, it's not going to end up mattering for too much. Kyo is still taking bits and pieces of damage here on the mid lane. The bottle is now finally up for the Phantom Lancer, so his spam is getting better. Extinct is just waiting over by the tower bottom. I think waiting for the Spirit Breaker to come back to this lane. I don't know if they can get this kill just between the two of them, but they might try. There's only a 4-second cooldown on Lightning Storm, and Slick's on full mana. This is plenty of damage to contribute. I kind of wish that we've seen if there was a Bassi on this Lesh bottom lane, would make it a heck of a lot easier to look towards this tier 1 tower, even without the Edict picked up, and at least having that extra option would have been nice with how aggressively they played the lane.
Exactly. They've pushed the tower, but they haven't pushed the tower. They've actually had the creep wave there, but it always gets pulled back or it gets taken out pretty quickly without that Bassi, but...
They do have 2 points up in the Shadow Wave now, so they can clear the wave extremely quickly. That's probably the plan. Yeah, they get the Disruption out. They've got the Heal Bomb ready. March can take a little bit of damage, but...
That was like the reverse combo. Split Earth, then the Soul Catcher, then the Disruption.
Yeah, that was definitely not the combo. March is going to charge a tiny bit away. He knows that there's still more experience arriving at this bottom lane and wants to soak it up as best he can. I think he's actually just chilling out back in the fog right now, so from Invasion's perspective, they're not actually sure if he's still down here. The Glyph is yet to be used, and if March is extremely sly with how he plays, this might be able to get this denied. Though needs to be careful. Extinct's going to come around, puts in an Observer Ward, and looks like March has had enough of this. He's just going to be backing himself up. There is a similar move being made top lane as Shaitan is in some trouble. MVP come in looking for this tower. The auto attacks are taking forever. Hero is also coming in, throws in the Tornado, but Shaitan heals through everything. Extinct lands, needs to use some mana before it all gets burned away by the EMP. Does get the Disruption over onto the Invoker. He's got the Invoke cooling down in just a couple of seconds, but Slick's TP'd into the tier 1, and he's picked up a double. He's very low, but finds the triple kill. Invasion punishing the dive onto their Enchantress. And Shaitan's way triumphs for the first time this game. 3-1 lead to Invasion.
The DD Invoke comes in and is like, right, easy kill, Enchantress, bring it on. Tornado misses, EMP doesn't do anything, Shaitan's already out of mana. The 2 supports come in, heal, disrupt, and then Slicks TP's up to the top tier 1 and says, right, Lightning Storm. It's level 3. Let's get a couple of these out there. Do tons of damage. This Pugna is, what, level 3? He doesn't have any stats. He's got 530 HP. If you're diving behind tier 1, tier 2 towers, you're losing a hell of a lot.
Yeah, and well, this is definitely not the kind of start that you want to be seeing for this Drow Ranger lineup. Invasion picking up a bunch of easy kills because I think, like we said, we are of the opinion that if this game drags on, the Phantom Lancer is going to totally take over. And MVP are going to be able to do very little. They do have good single target lockdown, but I've also seen a lot of games recently where Invoker just falls off a cliff, especially Quaswex, and turns into a really irrelevant hero. Looking towards the mid to late game. Marston's charging in mid lane. It's going to get Extinct, but he just puts himself under. dodging the Nether Strike and the EMP. Great play from him. And the turnaround comes once again. Slick's looking for this kill. They're focusing on Nuts. Good tornado catches both. As QO is retreating over into the river, March backing him up a little bit as well. But Invasion bringing a bunch of heroes in. Slicks looks for the slow into the lightning. Nuts still healing up from the Voodoo Restoration. Actually bounces the lightning off QO onto Nuts' head, but he's going to be okay. Though Invasion might just stick around here.
QO puts himself back into danger. Soul Catcher and stun. The charge is coming through. The EMP is going to be good, but QO's already dead. PL diving behind the tower, and March is left with no teammates to actually help him out here. And is he getting chased? WTF has another Lance. Okay, 723 HP.
Febby might be the one in trouble, actually. Runs into WTF, but they're just going to pass one another by. Say they're good days. And that's just going to be another kill on the Invoker mid. Okay, well, the first kill on the... the first kill on the Invoker mid. I doubted myself for a second there, but no. Only has gone down to once. KP does start to lay into the tier 1 tower top lane. So MVP at least using the space provided on the map from all of these Invasion rotations. Shaitan going to come TPing in top. He's already level 6, so pretty decent timing for him here on this Enchantress, and has a lot of damage to contribute at this stage. A couple of impetus shots. He's very survivable as well, and between the heals from Boons as well as the Shallow Grave, Shaitan should be able to use pretty much his entire mana pool on just throwing imps every single fight.
Everyone except March on MVP has died, and March is the only one with a kill. It's just... March has done all the work, all the heavy lifting here. It's 1-0-0, only with 7 last hits though, and he's still looking towards those treads. Drow Ranger, treads, and Wraith Bands. Pretty standard build so far. I do wonder if he goes for the Yasha build to increase their farming speed, or the Mask of Mana. Actually, mid lane will come back in a second as the EMP and Cold Snap. Slick slowed down, but again, good disruption now from Extinct. Hold him in place, and QO stopped in his tracks. Febby and Nuts. These two supports have not really accomplished anything.
Yeah, and you look at Extinct and Boons, they've moved around the map, they've set up kills, and they've gotten a lot done. I think Extinct especially thus far. He got that great disruption on himself right after he got charged on mid lane, completely countered that initiation. He's had a couple of good disruptions to set things up in some of the other lanes, and Shadow Demon feels like a somewhat forgotten hero, but Extinct definitely making a good case for him here. Now, top lane, Shaitan, silence. The auto attacks are taking forever. They're going to keep on nuking, and one more from QO. Again with a double damage rune on this top lane. It's going to finish it off, but the rest of Invasion come charging in. Slick needs to be careful. They do have the Pugna Ward down, but he's disrupted and still doing damage. MVP focusing on him. The Nether Strike comes out. He gets graved, though. They just can't kill off the Lesh. He's burned down, too. KP still stuck over the trees. He didn't land the Split Earth, and that was the difference between a kill or not. Triple kill for the Invoker, but he does end up being brought down.
He buys up though.
And okay, yeah, so gets his Oblivion Staff and a robe, so he's looking pretty good there. Overall fight goes 4 for 3 and will be MVP favored, especially on the metrics. Pugna actually getting a ton of gold out of that fight, notably. So looks like Febby should be able to pick some items up for himself.
Yeah, it does give PL quite a bit. He can pick up his treads soon. Actually start moving into this top lane to pressure tier 1, which is pinged down by them. That fight was really messy though. That grave onto the Leshrac after he got disrupted, just everything thrown onto him to try and save as much as possible. The one big saving thing for MVP is the sidestep. KP managed to sidestep Split Earth at the very last second, just moved like a half a centimeter over to the left. Dodging that is the difference between life and death and killing Leshrac or not.
Yeah, and MVP just gonna accept a trade here as the tier 1 tower mid lane goes down for a tier 1 tower on top. They do have the better pushing lineup overall, at least in terms of tower damage, and so they're just gonna keep on running and head their way over into the pit, actually. Looking for Roshan right now. I don't know if Invasion have realized exactly what's going on. They might have a tiny bit of vision. No, not quite. They do see the courier going in down towards bottom, notably. And coming out of the Roshan pit immediately, that might be the clue that they need, but the medallion's already been delivered. And MVP have already brought down Roshan. That's the Aegis over onto the Invoker. And the Death Ball is just going to keep on rolling as MVP make their way down to bottom lane.
A little bit of an unusual switch up. Febby picking up the medallion this game, and it has always been Walnuts picking it up in the previous games, but the last fight we saw was he gets a bunch of gold, think, okay, well, what can I buy? Walnuts, have you started your medallion yet? Nope, I'll buy it. We can go straight into Roshan. 12.5 minutes in, and
Yeah.
Now they're actually looking to take down this tier 1 at bottom lane. KP is going for that Yasha build, the Massacre -1, which is more of a QO build.
Go. Shift queuing the Tornado in here, drops off the EMP as well, burning all of Shatan's mana. That's a lot of damage potential lost for Invasion if they choose to stick around here on the middle lane and continue this push. They do have some Arcane Boots to top him back off, and a couple of impetuses ready to go. Both of the Tornado and the EMP cooling down at the moment for QO. Netherward's going to end up being dropped, and Invasion have to be careful about how they choose to engage on this one. They won't be able to force their way over and grab that. Nuts lobs the stun as both teams staring at one another from across the way, but the Tornado EMP is cooled down, and Invasion might now be in some trouble. Slicks is the one focus, but I think they still got defensive spells. No Grave and no Disruption. That means no Leshrac. And Invasion, no hope of taking this team fight, is just going to be forced to retreat out. Doppelganger still on cooldown for a couple of seconds. Will he be able to get it off down onto the low ground? Just barely. But one more auto attack from QO finishes him off. The charge is also hunting Shatan, being chased down right now. Auto attack's doing big damage, but
Shatan's way!
It's helping to keep him alive. Shatan's way through and through. The Tornado lifts him skywards, and he gets dropped down, finished off as MVP take a 3-0 fight.
Yeah, that's pretty big. The good choice of target from QO and March on the PL jump down with the Doppelganger onto the low ground. He was pretty much stuck in that situation as well. Radiant's Korea? Over here, in between mid lane and the rune spot. Okay, well, that didn't
just
have too much on it. The TP scroll maybe was trying to pick something up, but QO getting right click down. He's got his Aegis the Immortal and Orc Kit now delivered. He could turn and fight. He's being healed up by the Urn Charge from March.
Looks like MVP is going to call it a day for now. The tier 1 tower mid is still relatively low, and they might end up losing it. After that last little sequence, MVP have blown out a pretty much 0 lead either way to 4K experience and 5K net worth in their favor. So I think it's definitely looking good there. QO, Ghost walked up looking for these initial kills with the Orchid, which I don't believe he's revealed just yet. And Invasion still sticking to their guns. Gonna try and bring down this tier 1 tower on the mid lane. MVP are somewhat split up. Haven't found a good angle to fight into this. And March is actually all the way over in the top lane, just grabbing some farm. Is that a Midas completed? Yeah, it's always a Midas with March. He really likes his Midas on his 3-position heroes. But it's good on this Spirit Breaker. I still don't... I guess now that they're starting to get some momentum going, the late game is looking a little bit less certain for Invasion, but I think it's still decent.
It's still very scary.
Yeah.
Very, very...
You have to respect the Phantom Lancer at the very least.
Like, Weave from Dazzle, it mitigates a lot of damage from that Drow War, so you got all this extra armor being buffed up. But take a look at Febby. He's actually gone for a point booster. If he finishes off his Aghanims and he can go and give life to the Giraffe Ranger on the front lines or something like that, Spirit Breaker actually down a bot lane. WTF is caught with a silence and EMP. He's got nowhere to go and he's just going to get right-clicked down.
I don't think he even cold snapped the right target there, but still, QO going to end up finding that kill as more MVP heroes rotating into position. And they're just going to start looking towards this tier 2 tower. Actually, pretty much everybody down here with Phantom Lancer dead for 30 seconds and MVP showing no respect to the very puny PL right now. And just going to come pushing in. Invasion going to weave themselves up and actually brace for a fight here without the Phantom Lancer alive. The Netherward does get dropped down. Shatan comes running in. He wants to try and finish that one off, but he's getting drained out. Nice Grave going to help keep him alive. Slicks turns and returns fire with the lightning. Death Ward doing good damage. Disruption. That's just going to make it bounce on over to Extinct. They've almost lost 2 already. The tier 2's down. And Slick's just trying to get away from the ward, but Nether Strike comes in and will finish him up. Phantom Lancer tries to get involved, but QO just going to be healed. Still has the Aegis, and Phantom Lancer gets silenced, unable to do anything. Alacrity thrown out. More Icons coming in. Another charge. March, second or third of this fight. Will end up backing up as the Doppelganger comes out, but Invasion completely stopped by the paralyzing cast as they try to push any further forward.
That Pugna Ward is ridiculous against Leshrac. Like, pulse Nova, turn it off!
It looks ridiculous as well. The animation is a much bigger deal than the standard, but...
Like, QO had Aegis Immortal that entire time. He could have died at any point and thought, well, okay, I'm coming back to life with full HP, full mana. Not really worried too much about it. But yeah, the Pugna, if he is going for Aghanim Scepter here, which you kind of assume so, right, with that point booster, That's not too shabby. Was it 0 second cooldown? Right?
Not the third courier. Okay, he's gonna let it go. I think he's probably in a little bit too deep to go for that, especially since his Ghost Walk is still on cooldown for the time being. But what else? KP is just farming up what's getting delivered to him right this second. It's actually an SNY, so just getting a bit more survivability going. With a charge, spotting out Chatan, who's just built up a couple of small items for the time being. Kyo is also looping around at him right now, and nowhere to run for the Enchantress. It's going to be a slow death because of the Untouchable, but MVP is still going to bring him down all the same.
Finally, the last arrow launches. Kyo, you okay here? WTF, got the haste rune running towards him. Squidward not going to land on anyone, and now MVP juiced to turn and fight. The ward is dropped, disruption back onto left track. This is very early on. He's now being left alone. The rest of his team's failing, but Pulse Nova doing way too much damage back on MVP. Two have dropped, the Pokemon and Spirit Breaker both gone, and KP, while this guy's graved up, he can't really take him down, but poor old Leshrak, the Rainbow Horseman, it doesn't last long enough.
And MVP, they suffer a couple of casualties. That was actually a 3-for-2 fight if you don't count the pick-off on the Enchantress. And Gold is actually gonna... Oh wait, no, this fight recap is also not counting the kill on the Enchantress. So Gold actually ends up going slightly invasion favored with that consideration. And experience is also going to be going their way. But MVP continuing to press forward. They've got some really nice wards down at the moment, though a couple of these are about to fade. Chatan just going to end up denying the tier 2 tower on mid lane, but we've kind of hit that exact benchmark of, yeah, the Drow Ranger lineup is taking your final outer towers around 20 minutes, and the next stage is going to be very scary. Invasion want to try and get the jump themselves this time around. They go for a smoke outside of the base. It might get revealed by QO, though. The dust gets popped, but it wasn't at the front. I don't know why the Shadow Demon wasn't leading that one, but I guess it's just a little bit too slow. And Invasion weren't expecting to find anyone until they got over into the dire jungle itself. So QO nicely played there, making a lot of space for his team. And they're just going to take that opportunity to jump onto all three lanes and pretty much all of the available farm on the map and clean it up. So once you get in some trouble mid lane, Alacrity gets popped. Kyo actually able to keep on auto-attacking despite the Untouchable. And that's a dominating streak picked up for your Invoker as MVP just keep on marching forward.
Yeah, with the 20-minute benchmark you mentioned, taking out all the outer towers, the next 15 minutes are vital for Invasion to actually make something happen. They have to win team fights, they're going to try and hold down their own lanes, maybe give up the top tier 2, just let MVP have it. You're really going in here, the charge on the Slicks to catch him out, another strike, no, the disruption to start things off, the boon's gone, there's no grave for Slicks now, he's going to get taken down, the right click's out, the Death Ward, focusing onto the left track illusions, finally changes target over to that Lesh. The real one, nuts. Time to fail him.
Pops his stick. Gonna start healing up off the Voodoo Restoration, so he's looking alright. And MVP find themselves right at Invasion's doorstep with 3 heroes dead. They're almost all at full HP. Tom pokes his nose outside of the base and gets a tornado back.
I really like to see when Witch Doctor players actually change their Death Ward attack target. Because a lot of people don't realize you can do it. You can select the Death Ward and actually right-click to choose the target. So when there's illusion nearby, it's like, damn, it's attacking the illusion, I want it to attack the other hero. You can actually go and select, and then you can also hotkey the Death Ward to, control 1 to 10 or whatever, 1 to 0. So then, next time, just press the hotkey, right click away.
In other words, down, it's proving to be a bit of a nuisance for Slicks here. As he comes in, Chatan is actually just running towards the ward, but he's already been brought down. Phantom Lantern trying to find a good angle into this fight. March still wants to kill on the Leshrac, but they might have come a little bit too deep. The lightning hits all 5, and the splitter hits on 2. Febi's draining to try and keep QO alive, but they've brought him down along with March, and Phantom Lantern still quite healthy, has a doppelganger and a Spirit Lance at the ready to keep on chasing after KP. Febi's going to drop another ward over the trees and just TP out. Not a whole lot more that he can do to help out the Drow Ranger as Phantom Lancer continues pursuit. TP out attempted, but auto attacks are all that it takes as Invasion gets silenced, but still find 3 kills end of the day.
Roshan respawned 1 second ago. I'm not sure Invasion can go and take it though.
Do they have wards? Can they place some wards around the place? Extinct's at least going to go and look to place his Observer right now, but I don't think they can do it.
I don't think they've got the actual damage output to do it. You think of PL as their only real damage dealer, he's got Yasha, Treads. He relies on his illusions to farm and get damage done, and illusion's not so great up against that Roshan.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So just going to have to back up, accept that that fight worked pretty well and that they made a significant dent. Well, significant is a relative term in this net worth and experience league right now. But yeah, definitely baby steps.
Experience is most like that. That's a significant dent in the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's baby steps.
We're going to jump. March is looking for Slicks. Meanwhile, QO is opened up elsewhere, but didn't realize that the Phantom Lancer was so nearby, and actually everyone from Invasion here is going to catch MVP off guard. They were not expecting 4 heroes from Invasion to be in the neighborhood, but alright, they turn things around there nicely, get another kill up on the Spirit Breaker, and the momentum starts to roll. The Phantom Lancer and the Lesh getting some good farm going, and Invasion still feeling pretty bold, want to try and move a bit further over into this dire jungle and probably place down a second Observer Ward that Extinct has now picked up. He's going to drop that one down right this second. They round the corner, they spot KP along with QO. Tornado's going to open up some space, but it's only the Phantom Lancer. They managed to disrupt the Drow Ranger. The Netherworld's going to be a nuisance, but Drow, can she survive? No, the Drain attempted from the Pugna, but it's not enough. Phantom Lancer now getting focused somewhat, but he's got another Doppelganger. And just getting away from the double ward combo here from MVP. No, Invasion not done just yet. Slicks goes jumping in with his Blink Dagger, and will almost get auto-attacked to death. Graves going to help keep him alive a little bit longer. There isn't a heal available from Boons, but there is a disruption from the Dazzle. He might actually be able to blink out of this. Will be able to. Tornado not going to finish him, but there is a charge coming in. Needs to land a Split Earth, but he gets it. 5 seconds until he has another blink. March has the Nether Strike, but Slicks has healed up a little bit. March, is he going to get the bash? Can he finish him? Won't be able to. Makes it up onto the high ground, and what an escape from Slicks. Great coordination between the Dazzle and the Shadow Demon, and they get him out of there.
That's a toe curling moment. Get disrupted up, blink away, dodge the tornado. Like, he pretty much dodged the tornado twice, right? Because the tornado was incoming, then he blinked, and the area he blinked to was nearly in the tornado trajectory, so he dodged it kind of twice that way, then charged that Split Earth perfectly timed, knowing that March was on his way.
Shatan getting charged as well, but he's also going to be able to TP and make his escape. So a couple of good fights strung together for Invasion is going to swing the experience back to only a 2k lead in MVP's favor, and we're heading back to about 8k still on the net worth. But as we were saying, the Phantom Lancer and the Lesh both getting up some good farm, and Slicks, I want to call it a bold move to go for the Blink Dagger instead of a potential BKB from him, but his support players make it work out just fine.
Rave have defeated, well, they've won their game, or series 2-0 up against CSW, so MVP have to win this game to try and tie up for first spot. Otherwise, like, if they lose this game, this single game here, they are second place, and that's it.
Yeah, and we've talked about the importance of 2-0s a lot in these qualifiers, but the other thing that needs to be reinforced is the importance of first place. First place, you've got a buffer, you're playing in a non-elimination match, and that first match is both non-elimination and it punches your ticket to Seattle one way or the other. Even if you win that first match and you lose in the finals, you're still going at the very least as a wildcard team. So for MVP, this just turned into a ridiculously important game for them to try and win, but well, Invasion giving them a run for their money despite already being eliminated. There's definitely pride on the line. Shatan's just picked up an Ogre Club thus far. I get the feeling that while the point booster is a little bit more traditional when you start building up the Ag Scepter as the first item, just because it tends to be better overall, that this might still just be the beginnings of an Ags from him. Could also just be a first item BKB if he feels like, okay, at the moment I'm doing 0 impetus damage because I'm getting focused. The Ags probably still means 0 impetus damage because I probably still die in the exact same way.
I'm getting mana burn, I'm losing, you know, 90% of my mana pretty much.
So I guess actually from that perspective it's probably just BKB for Shatan. Gonna take him a little while to farm it, but Dazzle, Maelstrom, Boons, what is this? Why is this not a medallion? Why is this not a Solar Crest?
I don't know.
I love Invasion. These guys are lunatics, actually. But I say that with love in my heart. I've played with Boons. I've played with Shatan. And I've interacted with Slicks quite a bit. But yeah, they're definitely goofballs, and this is a little bit strange. I think Boons is just trying to pick up some farm. Honestly, he's got a decent amount of farm at this stage. The Shadow Demon can play an absolute hard 5 no matter what. QO's come looking for this kill on Shaitan, popping his BKB just to make sure that his auto attacks land. And the soul burn damage is going to be enough to find that kill. Extinct comes running in. They do not have enough anti-invis though.
There's no dust on any of them.
Yeah, so won't be able to find that one.
Maelstrom is just a farm.
Oh man, Phantom Lancer. He's got the Diffusal Blade and a Manta Style all of a sudden. He's going to come running in with a haste on Febby. Gets the Purge immediately onto the Ghost. Not the Ghost. Crepify. I can't even think of ability names right now. They're going to jump over onto the Shadow Demon. They bring him down. Lord Boons comes running in as well. And he's going to get finished off. Okay, immediate double kill for KP. Looks like the Phantom Lancer may have not needed as much help as they thought that he did. And Slicks now getting stunned up. Is he going to get bashed down to the low ground? I think that's where he actually wanted to go, but he's also going to be finished off. And Phantom Lancer forced into even further retreats as Shaitan finally pops back up. This is the first Maelstrom battle. I can believe that for sure. Alright, okay, so MVP, as quickly as they lost momentum, they seem to have gained it right back again. They take out the final outer tower for Invasion, and well, looks like they've realized exactly the gravity of this game. We've got a couple of creep steals coming out from Shaitan. Not the biggest deal. We're just going to keep on clicking away. The Demonic Purge comes out, and WTF goes running in, looking for some damage. Nice Gust opens up space, and Shaitan lobs a few impetus shots as MVP retreat. They have split up into two groups. Nuts looks like might just be left behind here by QO, but they both slink on over into the fog, and they're going to be all right. Tier 3 does end up falling. MVP claiming that, and Invasion once again out of the map, looking for another successful initiation to get something done here.
Yeah,
QO is still just on the hunt.
Yeah, Shaitan is going for that BKB, and yeah, QO is still in that Ghost Walk. But he can't really go for Slicks here. He's got 1600 HP. He's going to go in and look for it. There's WTF and Shaitan both ready to wait, and impetus damage. The output's not enough. He gets into Ghost Walk once again. And Martin now BKB's up. WTF is up on the high ground, but the illusions have blocked Shaitan down on the low ground. And QO, Deafening Blast, WTF, Doppelganger at the ready, but he can't get back down below the little ridge, and he's just going to get drained. Illusion's doing a decent amount. Take down Febby's Pugna, but KP here with the damage output and Death Ward to secure that kill.
It was a really nice attempt. He Diffusal Blade purged off the Orchid Sounds to try and get a little bit more damage done and finish off one more hero, but he was just in the middle of everything. And well, Phantom Lancer goes down to 3-for-1 fight. All started off by QO. It looked a little bit aggressive, but read the situation fantastically, and his teammates arrived in plenty of time to grab all of those kills.
Like in these situations, I always have in the back of my mind, March is there. March is like the cool, calm, collected guy. And I'm so sure that he's there saying, I'm charging, I'm on my way, go now. And the Cure's like, right, let's go, let's do this, and starts just absolutely going ham onto everyone.
Slick's going to try and stall things somewhat here. They need their Phantom Lancer back alive. Shaitan runs in. He's in some trouble. Good defensive disruption, going to buy him some space. The Phantom Lancer buys back, but they haven't caught anyone just yet. Slicks goes blinking out aggressively, trying to catch a stun, but MVP, they got that buyback. They're going to be very happy with that. And with that, they're just going to back up, farm a few more items. I think they've actually got quite a bit of current gold, 3.1k on the Invoker, notably. And even a few more items for the Drow Ranger, not too far off. Haven't even checked KP's inventory in a while, but he's got a Crystallis completed, and BKB lifesteal he's had for a while. He is starting to look scarier and scarier as the game goes on, and the Midas from March is really starting to pay off, as he's picked up a BKB and a plate mail.
Smoke up here from Invasion, though, as they're looking to head into the dive jungle, going straight down the same path they took the last time. But who can they find this time? Febby and Nuts, both on the front lines. They've got the Aghanim's upgraded Death Ward. They do actually get down to the look right now when they're being caught. Sliss gets the stun down on the KP. He almost BKB, maybe trying to fight another Death Ward, popped out, bouncing onto everyone. Nuts looking at it go, and Shaitan on the back lines getting drained down by Febby. But there is this little Phantom Lancer looking for kills. Now gets turned on. KP dropped under his own tier 3. Shaitan finally falls. But March, he's got the big target. He takes down the PL, who no longer has flyback and is dead for 17 seconds.
MVP, they do end up losing both the Pugna and the Drow Ranger in the midst of all of that. Really nice stun from Slicks. Starting that off, they ran randomly into MVP, and he just put down the Split Earth and did manage to catch the Drow Ranger, but MVP with a superior team fight at the end of the day, and a lot of that just because of the item advantage that they're wielding right now. The Phantom Lancer is doing his absolute best to bring down heroes quickly in these fights, but MVP are just doing a really good job of kiting him around in circles and preventing him from getting too much done. So until we see a couple more items out on him, I don't think the situation's going to improve, and I don't think MVP have any intention on letting him farm. They're going to random Shadow Demon Illusion, providing a bit of a distraction here for MVP as they come in on the mid lane. The melee barracks going to drop pretty quickly. They know that Phantom Lancer has no buyback, so every second that they're looking at here on the clock is a second that he's not going to be available. They come jumping in with Slicks, looking for the stun, but March is going to pop BKB and try and TP his way out. Impetus shots do give him a bit of a hard time, but MVP come in, get what they were looking for with the melee barracks and back out. All of that with only 3 heroes pushing as well.
Hero, what are you saving up for? 5,500 gold.
I think he just buys Hex. I mean, he could try and be... He's probably a high enough level that he can justify Aghanim Scepter, potentially. I'm personally not a huge fan of the item on Invoker, but this is probably the kind of situation where you can look at it. We'll see what he goes for.
Aghanim Scepter isn't that great when you get Octarine Core. Like it doesn't really make a...
Yeah, he could go Octarine Core as well, I guess. I feel like Refresher is somewhat more impactful than Octarine Core. Because for Invoker, it's often about just winning that one fight that wins you the game. But anyway, Extinct gets caught out in the river and just focused down. Nice tornado landing there. Shaitan trying to escape. Doesn't have a TP. He's actually already dead. But just going to try and buy as much time, I think, as he possibly can as March comes charging in. Shaitan's run into a 2-2 tower. Just Sunstrike as well being thrown out. As MVP don't even commit everything. Looks like they might just let the Maledict
keep on going.
I mean, he just has to buy time, really, but that's what's going to finish him off. And that's going to be another kill for MVP as they rack it up. 35-19 at this stage.
Dazzle disassembled his arcane boots and he now bought treads. Just for that little bit of extra attack speed. Get those Maelstrom procs going.
Yeah, gotta get some Dazzle DPS.
Solar Crest.
I'm about that life.
Febby finishes off Solar Crest after his Aghanim Scepter. Walnuts, he's got the Glimmer Cape. And March, does he have full AC on his way? Yeah, full AC for March on that Spirit Breaker. On the Radiant, do we see anything big for that PL after that buyback? You know, he has been down in the dumps a little bit. 2,700 gold, but not spending it just yet.
March is on the hunt. Extinct is in some trouble. He's isolated over on the high ground, and March might be able to get this kill solo. Defensive Disruption is going to buy a tiny bit of time. And, I don't know about that, Febby. There's a grave as well, Extinct. Still giving him the runaround, going to drop as many of his spells as he possibly can before he ends up dropping. They didn't have a force step. Duo's found his way down onto the low ground. A little bit of trouble there for him, but the Phantom Lancer is there all by himself. And just going to have to doppelganger back somewhat defensively. The Nether Ward completely driving Invasion back right now as MVP just going to sort of knock in the front door. They push creeps in mid, they push creeps in bottom, and start working in on the tier 3 now. Invasion, what kind of initiation can they get going? March is actually keeping everyone zoned back, and Shaitan and WTF all the way over at mid lane. Duo just going to put up the Alacrity, gets hit by the Solar Crest, and he's just going to keep on right-clicking the tower. Gets the force staff to get a little bit further away. Slicks comes blinking in. Another Nether Ward drop down, and with that at their backs, MVP feeling very secure with their position right now. Phantom Lancer doing the best that he can, but he's actually already out of mana, and the melee barracks is dropped. If MVP can get out of here without losing anyone, that would be huge. Nice tornado catches onto 3, but Duo's still been slowed up a bit. Drops down the ice wall. That's actually going to keep the Phantom Lancer captive with no mana. There's no escape mechanism, and that's going to be a 5-0 wipe with MVP actually being on the back foot and retreating outside of the base. And that is going to be...
Yeah, that Death Ward placement was just perfect. There was nowhere for them to run back up to high ground. They couldn't try and turn and fight. Just Death Ward bouncing those little projectiles, blinking around everywhere. So, Group
we have
B,
a tie.
We have a tie. Rave and MVP Phoenix both tying it up in